Hello everyone. I'll talk about the marketing, SaaS marketing, and GTM. I'll just give it a start. I'll also cover it in the presentation. I'll just start with this one. Currently, SaaS market, there are so many different conversations that are going on, which is like whether people are moving from SaaS to something else, or is SaaS booming because a lot of people are getting into SaaS. There is a need for applications which is increasing because adoption of applications and software for different various reasons are increasing. Because of that, a lot of people who has seen certain problems try to solve it, or sometimes they heard certain problems and they think that they have the technical capabilities to fix those problems, and then they get into it. So there are three parts to it. One is production, which is product management and engineering, where product management says how things work and in terms of for the customer, and from the engineering level how it works technically, and both comes together in the production. And then marketing is finding the right market, right people, and then talking to them, and then trying to reach out to them and then showcase the product to them. And then once people are interested, converting them into customers falls into sales. And once they become the customers, creating a successful experience for them becomes the customer success. Previously, it used to be just customer support, and it changed it into making the customer successful so that the churn rates will be much lesser. So that's how it's moving. And the toughest part seems to be marketing, because there are so many products in the market. People are coming up with different products. And because of that, marketing becomes, it is the increasingly difficult day by day. And people are coming up with different strategies and coming up with novel techniques to reach out to right kind of audience and finding out where they are. Sometimes some products which are given to people who are tech savvy, you can find them quite easily because they are on the internet all the time. For products which are not like that, it becomes a little more difficult to reach out to people, right audience. So that's why marketing has shown so much interest everywhere, and people are talking about marketing, SaaS product marketing, things like that. The agenda of this meeting is first couple of minutes introduction about myself, and then traditional GTM, how they follow traditional GTM, and GTM for SaaS, what all we can cut off, like probably what is very essential for GTM for SaaS, and strategy in terms of brand marketing and GTM strategy. And then we'll go on to question and answers. So introduction, I've been into digital for about 19 years now. Number of said so I started off as an entrepreneur, web tech entrepreneur, and then changed things over time, and then became MarTech, where we provided marketing tech solutions, and then did digital marketing and combined my company into a with a digital marketing company, and then worked there. And it was like for 14 years, and then I worked with a popular SaaS company in India in different leadership roles. And then I came out of this one and I started my consulting firm again, which is on SaaS marketing. And I'm also developing a product in parallel. And my expertise is on different things, right from product development, software development, as I did services company before for different industries. And from there, I gained subject matter expertise in different industries. And then because I was into selling services, I had to gain marketing and sales experience as well. And then we got into digital marketing, and I started off with digital marketing and then added services development and things like that, and then became the MarTech company, and got into SaaS. So these things actually allowed me to acquire knowledge in these segments. And SaaS Consult is a group of few experienced marketers as consultants, and we also have people who work with us as executives and freelancers on different executions. So let's go into GTM strategy. GTM strategy is a logical sequence of how you take your product to the market. So first, finding the right people who has the same problem as what your product is solving, and then finding that is what we call as ICP, ideal customer profile, and also the persona, which is also coming into it, and the target group, which ICP falls, and then finding where they hang out, where they are available, and then finding out methods to reach out to them, the channels to reach out to them, and finding the right communication to reach out to them so that your message resonates with their problem, so they will show some interest. So how do we devise that? These 4 steps is what a GTM consists of. In order to do this, a systematic approach starts with assumptions, because whatever we think of starts with an assumption. Say, for example, I'll say what are the different assumptions that we need to work on, and then from there we need to quantify it as hypothesis. Hypothesis is a measurable assumption or quantifiable assumption, and we have to build strategies for that, and then have metrics to say whether it has succeeded or not. This is how we can measure a GTM, whether the GTM motion was a success or not. So traditional approach will have these assumptions and hypotheses built over all these other elements. Finding out who is the target group, who is the ICP and persona. ICP will be like 21 to 50 people company which is working in this particular segment, and this particular department is this particular segment is your ICP, and then going further into who is going to use it, and that's who are the different types of people who will use it will become the persona. And products, UVP is unique value proposition, where you can say how your product is different from what they're already seen, and what are the differentiations that you made in your product. And in terms of marketing, finding out market analysis, TAM, SAM, SOM, these are things which are repeated in different presentations. TAM is the total addressable market, and then SAM is serviceable addressable market, and then service obtainable market. TAM is total universe of people who will need your service and who will pay for your service. That's the market. And then SAM is whom you can approach, and SOM is whom you can service. And positioning your product. Positioning is the mind ladder, where you can say for example, there are several products available. What is that which is different in you has to come out in positioning, so that people will at least try to remember you. And in order to come up with positioning, we need to find out UVP, and UVP falls into 3 segments, usually speed, quality, and price. If you say quality, you have to take a trait and say this is one of its kind, first of its kind, and things like that. If you say price, you can use that as a positioning. You can use that in positioning, or you can say efficiency, speed. You can use that. And then pricing strategy should be based on different aspects, including how much you are going to spend to acquire a customer. So that there needs to be assumption in all these things, because you will start with an assumption. A lot of times we are not aware that that's an assumption. We get into a kind of opinion where the assumption is the truth. And we have growth strategy, whether you're going to be a product-led growth, then sales will happen differently. Sales-led growth, types of companies, sales-led growth is important for mostly enterprise products or complex products. Product-led growth could be for right from solopreneurs to mid-level, mid-market products. And it could be community-led growth. Anything it could be. You need to find out a strategy which will actually grow and increase the number of customers for your product. And then finding out channels. There are different types of channels, as you know. Search engine marketing or search engine optimization, from which you get organic growth, or through different social media social networks, or through PR, or through, it's not or, you can actually add whichever is relevant to you. those are different channels. And then funnel metrics. Each one have a different type of funnel because how they start from the beginning of the funnel and how they become the customer at the end of the funnel can be measured at different levels. You need to have a funnel for each one of them, each channel that you work on. And then a team that supports it, which is marketing team, sales team, servicing team, customer success team. Sometimes servicing and customer success happens hand in hand within a same team. And then process between these things, hand holding and change of customer phase wise change from one segment to another segment. Say for example, once it becomes an MQL, which is a marketing qualified lead, it usually goes on to sales team. And then once it becomes a customer, then servicing team. Once it's the customer invoicing is happening, people will bring in servicing team and customer success team so that they can do a handhold for that. All these processes to be set, KPIs and OKRs for each of them, key performance indicators and objectives and key results. And then doing a plan for each one of them. Marketing plan, how do you do that? Sales process and servicing and upselling. All these things put together, you will have a confidence and how you are going to propel from the initial stage to the completion stage to make the customer successful. This is the traditional way we do GTM, and it is, I'll tell you, I'll go back and I'll tell you this way is essential for or is being used by companies which are already established, which has a team already, or where it is funded, because you have to show initial growth at a faster pace. So for that, initial research is required at this level so that you can go on multiple channels at once and try to get something out of every channel possible. So this kind of extensive planning would be required for companies like that or for teams like that. If you have to cut down right now for the SaaS market or SaaS founders who are just starting up and who has a smaller team and starting into it, there are few steps we can definitely avoid, and then we can go into directly how we'll use that. So I just slightly tailored the regular approach and put it together like this. Assumptions, you need to find out whether your assumptions are true in terms of target group, ICP, because you would have already had an assumption that this product is going to solve this problem, and this problem is with so many people in this universe, and I'm going to reach out. Whether they have this problem, whether the problem is real, and whether people are willing to pay for this problem, whether the people who you thought would be willing to pay for this problem, all these things have to be our assumptions. You might have to jot it down so that you can actually strike off certain assumptions and come to certain things which are real while you are validating your assumptions. And these can be put into 3 buckets: problem definition, and then understanding the problem well, because sometimes the problem is morphed into something when it is being said to us. So unless you had directly experienced that problem, you might not be able to say whether the problem is real or not. If you have already experienced the problem, then you might have to validate whether the problem is similar to other people as well. So, and then you have customers. Once you know that this problem exists, then you have to figure out the set of homogeneous people who will look for a solution and who will pay for a solution. And then market understanding is how big is this homogeneous set and where do they hang out. So these are different areas where we usually make assumptions. And then when we say positioning, as I said, your unique value proposition. And if you see that I've actually cut out TAM, SAM, and things like that, because if you're starting up and if you're not pushing a lot of resources into one set immediately, I guess it is okay to actually skip that path and just see if you have a market, even if it is a smaller market. That is for the initial, this one is good. And then positioning, when you say positioning, you have to position it based on these 3 things: speed, price, and quality. You have to figure out traits which could be talked about. It should be you should take a stance and say that should be one, that could be only one positioning. You cannot have multiple positioning. And if you change your positioning, you might have to work hard, or sometimes it might not work as well. In the sense, it is not easy to change positioning once you have gained it. But if you have a small set of customers and if you are going to go big, then it's fine, because you might be ready to sacrifice the small set, or probably who you people who already know you, and you can go into a different set of people who might be larger than what you thought. And then write messaging which will resonate with their problems. This could be different messagings. So in a GTM document, you should put out positioning and mark messaging against every different messaging against the position. And then pricing strategy usually happens in these four things: usage, users, features, and combination of these things. So, and you can have multiple different when customer approaches you, you can have different types of discounts and things like that, and based on that you can put it out. And when you say pricing strategy, it should be calculated based on the channels. That's why it is a back and forth effort when you prepare a GTM document. Even to find out channels, which channels will cost you how much. Based on that, you can create a funnel saying this much people I will bring from a particular channel, and after different levels of funnel, this many number of customers I may create. To bring in first level of people to that funnel, to the starting of the funnel, how much are you going to spend? These things have to be calculated so that you can actually find out what is the lifetime value of the customer, and then figure out a pricing strategy based on that. And then channels. When I say channels, I'll also brief about channel in this one. So channels are you can say high intent channels, which are at the bottom of the funnel. BOFU is bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and then moderate intent channels, low intent channels. High intent channels, when somebody searches for, say for example, social media publishing application, it means that somebody is looking for a solution. They are already aware of the problem, and they know what the solution is, and they are wanting that solution. Now they are at the bottom of the funnel, or probably middle of the funnel, or probably they want to just, if they see your name and if you are known to them, they can immediately sign up. So that's where they are. And moderate intent channels, where they know that they have a problem, but they do not know the solution. So they are looking for solutions, and they are talking to different people to find out what could be their solution. And then low intent channels, they might not be paying much attention to their problems, or they are just falling into the same TGS what you have. And so with that, you will be able to influence that crowd with, when they talk about this problem, or when somebody talks to them about the problem. For that, you have to supply certain things. So high intent channel is Google search, and let's see, even if you see the expense of these channels, it will go down from the start to end, because high intent channels are usually expensive, and moderate intent channels are less expensive probably. And then low intent channels, if you say, it will not cost you money, but it will cost you time. It will take time to actually kick in. And the funnel will also be like the funnel's topmost part, which is like the end, starting of the funnel. Say for example, I've given the different funnel metrics for inbound and outbound in the second column. For example, if you have to bring in a lot of visitors, say for example, if you get 100,000 visitors, then you might probably get 200 leads, which is like 0.2 percentage. Or say for example, 2,000 leads, 2%. This, out of these 2%, the conversion rate will be lesser in when you actually go by a low intent channel, because they are just coming in with lesser intent to buy something. But if you do it with high intent channel, the conversion rates will be much higher. So the time difference will be higher. At the same time, cost is directly proportional, and time is inversely proportional to that. Say, and then comes for funnel metrics, which has visits, and then it becomes signups, and then it becomes marketing qualified leads, which is at certain parameters. We qualify leads on BANT scale, BANT, budget, authority, need, and timeline. And marketing qualified leads would actually you will try to establish whether it is from the authority or somebody who's closer to the authority. And you can also find if it is a company which is signing up, you'll find that they have budget. And sometimes you might not need it. If it is product-led growth, it will be a different funnel. It is inbound, outbound output. For PLG, it will be a different funnel. You will see if it is a product qualified lead. And then for outbound, you'll have emails sent, DM sent, or calls made, and how many people have seen or attended, and how many positive responses you got, and then how many demos have been set up, and these things. For this to happen, you need a team of people who are I've given it has its own set of what do you say depth to this. I've just put down certain high level designations or type of people who you would need to accomplish these things, which is like copywriter, designer, paid ads manager, SEO consultant, or SDR. And then you have solution consultants, or you might be the solution consultant, or you have product people who will be doing this. And it depends on the growth stage of the company. And sometimes we wear different hats when we are small sized, and once we grow bigger, we have different people for different activities. And then you have account executives, and then technical account managers to upsell your products, and sales professionals to support people and solve their problems. And we came to the end of the presentation.
Thank you very much. It was a great presentation, and we have several questions for you. You can also open chat and
Yes,
scroll.
just looking at it. Yes.
For example, with this one, it was first question: how to understand when to stop testing a hypothesis if the product is professional, expensive, and for enterprises.
As far as I've seen, enterprise products are mostly sold on brand value, which is like I would put it in 5 areas. One, people go for reviews because they want proofs more than anything else. Reviews, PR, social media presence, and then field sales. And then if you are able to get a top-down approach, it will be better. So I guess in enterprise sales, it is more like you should approach the company directly and then start validating it before even building it. That's usually the case. Otherwise, you'll have to build a lot, because its cycle also is with an MVP, obviously the cycle also is very big. So I guess in order to find out whether the product is needed by the enterprise, it takes longer. If you ask me how to understand when to stop testing a hypothesis, you need to have it doesn't have a direct answer unless the problem is known, actually what kind of product it is and who is the audience for it. If it is going to be the CEO, you should talk to like 100 CEOs of the same nature or 50 CEOs of the same nature who will sign the check. I mean, to see how many will sign the check. So that's how it works. Because when you have top-down approach, there is always friction at every layer. So we need to solve all these problems to find out if what I would say is, if you are reaching out to a CEO and if the CEO says yes, and then it goes to some department and then it goes to a persona who is going to use the system. If it is going to go this, you have to complete one cycle like this and talk to 5, 10, 15, 20 people to figure out the same cycle is repeating. Then you got a hypothesis completed.
Hey, hi Satish. Thanks a lot, guys, for arranging this. I'm sure this must have been an amazing session. I joined quite late, so I'll go through the recording. But I do have a burning question for you, right? We're a very young startup, like we just launched last week effectively with our MVP into the customer engagement, customer support niche. My question is, technically right now, anyone who has an online website or anyone who gets customer queries can use our solution, right? And we are trying to reach out to everyone. I think a major concern right now is, should we reach out to broader audience, anyone who needs it, or should we narrow down, niche down to a particular industry, like say for SaaS industry, for e-commerce, for service professional, for agencies or something like that? Because the modules we have, which is customer support, lead generation, and appointment setting, technically applies to all industries across.
I would recommend doing it, narrowing it down for a specific set of people, homogeneous people. And second layer of recommendation is go for a business, because then you are actually catering multiple users at the same time instead of going for B2C. B2C is usually cost heavy reaching out, because you do one sale to, and the value of sale will be much lesser than if you do it to B2B.
No, absolutely. This is a complete B2B solution, right? For example, it's a customer support and engagement tool. So for businesses who gets a lot of customer support queries, our chatbot can actually automate the responses and reduce
Okay.
repetitive questions and all. So it's applied to B2B only.
I misunderstood e-com when you said e-com. I thought small vendors who will probably use it. Instead of that, there you might also get some success. But if you go for a business which has this kind of e-commerce, which is a large enterprise, probably that might be successful. Then it goes to next level where probably enterprises might not be ready to immediately plug in a solution which is interacting with the customer. So that could be, so if you ask me, you have to narrow down. That's the answer to the question. And it should be thought through well, because there is certain level of friction above a spectrum and in the lower spectrum. I mean, friction in the spectrum after a point, and there is less value below a point. So you need to find out that sweet spot to narrow down that.
Got it. Cool. Cool, man. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Appreciate that.
We have another question. David asks you, could you a bit more tell for positioning aspect?
So, positioning is, if I ask you, say for example, tell me 3 car brands, you will say some 3 car brands definitely, and those 3 have taken the topmost position in your mind. That is what is positioning is. And if we have to position our product into somebody's mind like that, we need to have that positioning which is less competitive, because if you have to get a positioning where they already have a position, say for example a sports car, if you say, I'm not sure if it is the same in different countries, that's why I'm not able to say any brand right now, but if you are trying to position yourself as the same thing, probably it is difficult to fight already available incumbent. But if you're positioning it in a new way with a specific trait, probably you are the first in the category, then it is a possibility that you will get a better space in the market. Say for example, quickly these AI bots came in, a lot of AI bots were this one, and now everybody creates a GPT for every set of answers. So somebody is, if that positioning is has some moat which is difficult to enter, and if you have chosen a position and if you are staying there for a little longer, then you got that position. Another company, it will take a lot of time, or it might not be able, another company might not be able to take that position at all.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your answer. Safish, maybe there are some cases that you would like to share how you apply to go-to-market strategy for your clients.
So I can say one for a supply chain product which we did, and it was usually not generating because it was in the early stage and it was not generating immediate interest from customers. We had to take the expensive route, which is like Google search, this one. And previously, whatever efforts actually failed because it's a product which did not have organic by itself initially, but now I think they've also grown the organic path from them, and they wanted to immediately see some results. So what we suggest people and we recommend is, if you want to see immediate results, I would suggest to go with high intent, little expensive route. But now if you see, that is from the supply chain product. But recently, for another product which we have done, what we have seen is a good growth in doing Reddit marketing. I mean, you cannot do marketing on Reddit directly. If you do it, people will call you out. It happens like that. If founders directly get involved in conversations, they're able to generate a lot of interest. So it should be genuine conversations. People should put some time for that on a weekly basis, and then have some conversations where they can ask questions and they can actually talk about their product, and people show direct, genuine interest from there.
But
That
we
is something
can't
which
share. But we can share links on our product, right?
you can, but it should not be like, it should not be, you should not share it in every group that you are a part of. So you must be very thoughtful about where you share it, why you share it, and things like that. Because people usually mark it as spam and don't give any importance to that. So it's not just marketing. You should genuinely engage with the community, and you know where people have problems from by being engaged into the community, and wherever it is applicable, you can actually push what you have as a product, and it generates genuine amount of interest. And you can also share your product and ask for feedback, and people will give you genuine feedback, and there will be people who will be who can become early adopters for your product. So
I see in social media promotion one difficulty isn't to find appropriate thread where I can discuss topics related with my product, for example. And usually it's time consuming to find appropriate discussion where I can mention my product or my experience, how this product can solve some problems. How is it work on Reddit?
Reddit, I guess it is quite straightforward, because now each and every social media channel is actually becoming a kind of marketing engine. They talk just about their products, and there is no engagement at all in different channels. If you say, and as the engagement rate is less, the marketing noise is higher, and you are not able to find out people who need something. Only you can find people who sell something. So that is quite less so far on Reddit. It is a mix of people. It is actually kind of, so far in the last few months we have worked on it, and we have recommended so many different people, even who are not our clients, we have recommended to be engaged in there, because people talk about real problems as well, and you can find out what kind of problems they are talking about, and if your product is supporting it, you might be able to improve your product, and you might also be able to suggest your product if your product is already solving the problem.
I also would like to know about the Indian market. I know it's grow pretty fast, and I'm very curious. Are there any differences compared to other markets? Maybe about tools, platforms, audience preferences.
I guess it is more on the selling cycle. People take time to decide on whether to go with some product or not. So it takes usually more time than many developed markets like US, probably US, if you say. And it also depends on the value of the product. So Indian market has volume, a lot of, it's very big. People consume it. It's just that they take some time to actually decide it. So you might have to wait for that time, and you need to create so much to actually, the funnel should be bigger. The top of the funnel should be bigger. Top of the funnel for your lead generation should be bigger for you to have certain number of customers.
So for companies who would like to join our Indian market, there are no big difference about their
No,
strategy.
actually it is less. In fact, it is faster, or in fact, people are, in fact, you will get more buyers in, I guess, India. It is just a matter of decision time. And of course, pricing is a big important thing, which is like, if you are going into enterprise market, there will be the pricing. As far as I've seen, it has to be like half of world's market, probably. So
I guess advertising price should be cheaper
yes, it should be cheaper
for
than
companies who would like to join
yes,
India
correct.
market.
That's correct. So in the US market, probably sometimes it is like that. It can go as low as that. So that is one thing which
I
is
see.
there. The volume is bigger, decision cycle is longer, and it should be cheaper than developed markets, I can say, or tech savvy markets. Now India is the SaaS hub. In fact, India is becoming, a lot of companies are coming from India, and we are producers more than I mean, we are also consumers. But while consuming it, the decision cycles are different.
When
Okay.
you launch your product, you don't have a much budget. What are your first steps just to find your first clients and start selling?
You should narrow your market. You should narrow your even servicing, as Yuvraj asked. You should service your product to a particular niche so that it is easy for you to reach out to them. Your efforts are also not different in nature, so that you will be able to make repeatable things with your efforts. And with limited resources, you can only reach out to so many people. So you should narrow down your market and the use cases that you solve. It should be broader in terms of, say for example, if you solve 5 use cases and one is really broad, out of those 5, choose that one. And if you say, if you're going to, that is called service obtainable, service addressable market, which is one use case and one geography where you can less money or less effort to reach out to. That should be your first thing to go to start working on it.
Any examples, maybe platforms or just your
I
recommendations?
will actually bring up my product's example, or I'll give something else. Say for example, even for customer success platform, that Yuvraj is developing. If he goes into B2B SaaS, if he says, and if for certain products, say for example, marketing product B2Bs, say for example, in Indian market, if he says, it is easy for him to reach out in the Indian market, probably, and it is also easy for him to find that set of people, and the problems will be similar for these people. So we don't have to come up with different types of conversation with them, communication or message with them. So you can use the same kind of messaging repetitively to these people so that it will become more relevant, and you will also get more better understanding about that particular use case. B2B, fintech, if he is going to serve only fintech, for example, he will get to know a lot about that in a particular geography, and he'll be able to sell better instead of going broad.
Okay.
In order to narrow down the industry, we can do few iterations to find out which is resonating well with what we have built and what kind of use case has really working well with people, that we can actually validate with few people.
Okay,
So-
this hypothesis is all about how we sell. I can build application, I can organize different interviews to understand my potential clients, but I don't have experience how to sell, how to market this product, and I just try different hypotheses, and I guess any marketer try this hypothesis as well, and if it works, he just put more resources to these channels.
Yeah, so it starts with whom you are trying to reach out. If you have already narrowed down your target group, right, ICP, then channels is not an issue. It is with the ICP itself. Usually it is with the ICP. So when you say ICP, whether you do not,
what is ICP?
Ideal customer profile. Ideal customer is the customer who is the group of people. If you say a B2B fintech company is actually your customer with 50 to 100 employees, this kind of problem exists for them, then you take them as ICP. If you do not know who has that problem, that's when you switch from one thing to another. If you already know that 50 to 100 people company only has this problem, say for example, I am actually creating a PM, project management tool. the project management tool might not actually serve beyond 100 people. 60, 70 is my target, or 100 people beyond. I don't want it to serve beyond 100 people. So I will not go and talk to people who has a company which is more than 100 people. I will not even touch. I will only touch between 20 to 60, 20 to 50. If it goes beyond that, it's fine. So if when I decide that 20 to 50 is my target, I will only go after that. And the problem itself I'm solving is for them only. So if that is wrong, then my assumption about the problem itself is wrong. So it goes back to the problem itself, the product itself. If we are able to not find who it is more associated with, then we iterate and find out. It takes a long time for us to find out. Sometimes it is successful, it is not successful. That's what we call as product market fit. You build a product and there's a market which is there and it fits like easily. And if you send out outbound emails work really well, outbound calls work well. If you talk to people and if you are really addressing a problem and really talking to the same person, your response rate will be much, much higher. You don't have to send thousands of emails to find it out. Say, for example, you ping 50 people on LinkedIn and say that I have a project management tool just for you. And this is what it does. If 50 different people, at least 2-3 of them doesn't respond, then I'll put it this way. If 5 of them responds, then the product market fit is already there. Right? Because it is because the problem and the ICP actually matched. So that's why they are responding first.
Okay, but how to make the situation when people actually listen to you? Because on LinkedIn, on email, people receive a lot of spam, and it's difficult to stand out, so people actually will hear you. For example, when I launched Design Studio, I received a lot of promotion messages, and I even stopped reading their messages because they was all about selling.
I would put it this way. We cannot stand out for if you are sending something which is not a problem. Say, for example, all the mails that came to you are not your problems you are looking to solve. If it was a problem, say, for example, these days people try really hard to create like gateways, payment gateways from India to sell abroad. In the recent past, there are some restrictions, and many restrictions are there. If you are sending out to SaaS founders, recently launched to SaaS founders, saying that you have a payment gateway which will get your SaaS up and running in 24 hours. Now you are sending a solution for a problem which is prevalent in a certain group of people. If that problem exists, people will not ignore you. Will never ignore you.
So you just need to know exactly what people have this problem and when and what time. So you could reach them exactly when they counter this problem.
Correct. Say, for example, if there is a problem which you have been noticing for a while, and you know this set of people has this problem, you send out a mail to them, and some people will open, will not open. Those things will happen. Sometimes people will ignore, but definitely there will be good response because they are looking to solve that problem. They didn't find any solution so far, and they might want your solution. In order to stand out, you need to say what problem are you solving in a specific way, not in a generic way, so that it will immediately resonate with what they are undergoing right now. It's the only way to get the attention. I think we are almost at the end of the presentation, the call.
Thank you for your presentation. It was amazing. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all participants, and of course our expert for today, Safish Nagarajan. Expert, so please connect with him on LinkedIn. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.